Okay, so we're going to get started in a comfortable seat today. So whatever that looks like for you, make your way onto your mat. Find some way that's comfortable to sit so that you can sit up nice and tall. If you find you need a little more space and chin to the hips, you can always take something underneath the seat. So for at home, if you have a yoga block, that's great. If you don't, you can always roll up a blanket or a towel or a book underneath your seat, anything that gives you a little bit of extra space in the hips. And then as you're sitting here, just start to come into stillness. Allow the eyes to close. And just start to bring the attention inward. Allowing your breath to be your single point of focus. Consciously letting go of any distractions, all the sensory input. And letting go of the mental chatter and those distractions that come from within. And starting to deepen the breath, let that pull your attention further and further inward. Really allowing that breath to consume all of your thoughts, all of your attention. And then starting to become aware of the body. Taking a mental scan, just noticing what's going on today. And then right away, starting to build that mind-body-breath connection. So with each inhale, feel yourself sitting up a little taller, lengthening out through the spine, ribs lift out of the waist. With each exhale, feel yourself grounding down through the sit bones, really settling into that space you found on your inhale. Taking these little micro movements with each breath cycle. Deepening that connection with yourself on your mat. Starting to find that Ujjayi breath if it's in your practice. Creating the audible breath sound, light constriction at the back of the throat. And continuing this breath a few more cycles. Again, the inhale is finding a little more space wherever you can in the body. And the exhale is grounding down into your mat, releasing any tension you find. And remembering you can take this breath with you throughout the practice. No matter what's happening within you or around you, breath is always there. You can always return to this space as many times as you need. Join the palms together over the heart. Take a moment if you'd like to set an intention for your practice this morning. Take an inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to bow the head. Release the hands down to the knees. Chin gently lifts, gaze comes neutral. On the next inhale, roll the shoulders up, down, and back. Gently lift the gaze, open up across the chest. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Curl the tailbone forward as you touch into chest. Hands press on the knees to create that opening for the back of the heart. Inhale, pull the chest forward and through, lifting the gaze, teeth gently touch, a little stretch into the throat. Exhale, touch into chest, rounding in, opening up across the back body. And once more like that, big inhale, pull the chest forward and through, gaze lifts. And exhale, rounding in. Inhale brings you back to a neutral spine. And then from here, we're going to start to make circles. As you make those circles, feel free to sort of create that cow pose sensation, that arching of the spine as you circle forward, and the rounding, the cat pose as you circle back. But as you do, see if the front and back sides of your rib cage can remain level with the mat. So not so much of a tilt as a rotation around your spine. So just starting to make those circles, feel around in it. Maybe start to close the eyes, go inside, really notice what it feels like to be here. Starting to warm up into the spine, the core. Even the neck and the shoulders start to get involved. And the next time you pass through center, pausing, start to circle the other way. Again, front and back of the ribs, level with the earth as best you can. Letting this movement be as simple or as exaggerated as you need it to be this morning. And the next time you pass through center, pausing, coming back through neutral. If the legs are crossed, go ahead and switch the cross of the legs just for a little different sensation into the hips. On the next inhale, palms sweep out, around and up. Press the palms together overhead, gaze is up to the thumbs. As you exhale, float the hands behind the seat, coming onto the fingertips. On the next inhale, start to lift the chest, lift the gaze, tilt the head back. If you like a little more, maybe even start to pick the seat up off the mat, pressing the hips upward. One more inhale at the top. And exhale, slowly lower the seat down. Continuing that exhale, hands start to crawl forward. Take a nice little forward fold over the legs. As you're here in this fold, maybe taking a little sway side to side, maybe rock the head back and forth. Anything that feels good here. And the next inhale, hands walk back in through center. And exhale here to hold space. Inhale, palms sweep up overhead. As you exhale, we'll twist to the right. So left hand outside the right knee. Right fingers behind the seat, behind you. Right arm is like a little kickstand to help you sit up nice and tall. Again, finding that breath, the little movements, micro movements involved. So each inhale, growing a little taller through the spine. Each exhale, twisting a little deeper, really making that space you created your home. One more inhale here. Pull the belly in tight with the exhale, twist. Inhale, release, find your way back through center. Arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, twisting to the left, right hand outside left knee, left hand behind you. Gaze comes over that left shoulder. And again, each inhale breath, find space, grow longer. Each exhale breath, pulling the belly in, finding a little more of that twist. One more inhale here, lengthen. One more exhale, twist into that space. And gently release. Inhale brings you back through center. Palms sweep up overhead. And exhale, hands over the heart. From here, we'll keep the right knee bent. Extend the left leg out long. So sole of the right foot should be to the inner left thigh, nice and closed in towards the seat. And then we'll flex that left foot. You're a little tight in the hamstrings, and it's early in the morning, early in the practice, so you can always take a bend in that left knee. As we're here, big inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, squaring the chest over that left thigh. Start to forward fold. Again, this knee can be bent as much as it needs to be. Be kind to your body. If you have the space, you're always welcome to walk that heel out a little further. Leg approaches towards straight, but never losing that engagement. So pulling up on the kneecap, flexing the foot. As we're here, take an inhale, peel the chest up, lift halfway, lengthen the sternum towards the toes. And exhale to fold. On the inhale, peel the chest up. Right palm plants behind the right hip behind you. And inhale. Press hips up off the mat. Left arm stretches up and over the ear. Hips pressing away from the mat. Feel this nice little backward bend. Exhale, slowly lower the seat back down to the mat. As you do, cartwheel the hands back down to freeing that left leg. In the fold, take an inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Same thing here. Inhale brings you back up. Right palm plants. Hips lift up off the mat. Left arm stretches up and back. Exhale, nice and slow. Lower the seat. Cartwheel the hands down. Frame that left leg. Forward fold. Inhale in the fold to lengthen. Exhale, folding a little bit deeper. Last one like that. Inhale brings you up, right palm plants, hips lift up off the mat, really press them up. Exhale, nice and slow, lower the seat. Hands come down to frame the left leg, flex that left foot as you fold. One more time, inhale here to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale walks you up through a neutral seat. And then starting to shift that right hip and right knee back. So you sort of open up the stance of the legs here. So still right knee is bent. The foot is in towards left inner thigh, but you open up the stance a little wider. Then from here, left palm plants inside left knee. And inhale, right arm sweeps up overhead. Palm can press forward in front of you or maybe towards the face. Big inhale here, get a little longer through both sides of the torso. So you exhale, maybe left fingers crawl a little further towards left heel, and right arm starts to cross over right ear. Wherever you are, rolling right side of the chest open. And then working into the neck from here, so make a conscious movement here to press that left shoulder down away from the ear, and then drop left ear down to left shoulder, and let the head hang down. And then turning that right palm to face away from you, start to lower right palm down towards the mat. So fingers hover just above the mat behind you and really extend out that right arm through the right fingers. Pretend I'm coming up behind you and grabbing the top of that right shoulder and pressing it away from your right ear. Keep letting the head hang heavy. And as you're here, maybe starting to keep that right hand low, but start to swivel it towards the right knee. And then swiveling it back behind the hips. And just playing with that movement, noticing how it changes the stretch. And if you find that space that feels really good today, feel free to stay there a breath or two. Maybe even gently tilting the head back and tucking the chin forward. Again, just working different angles of that stretch. Notice what feels good for you. From here, keep reaching right fingers out long. Take the left fingers to left side of the head. Gently press the head up through center. Find your way back up to a seat. Beautiful. Extend that right leg out long. And we'll take that same sequence on the other side. So left sole of the foot comes to inner right thigh. Always welcome again to take that bend in the right knee to start. Flexing the right foot wherever you are, nice and active. Engage the quadricep muscles. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, squaring yourself over that left thigh, take your fold. Again, welcome to keep that bend in the knee, maybe even that nice belly to thigh connection, supporting the low back, giving yourself more space. Or if you have the space in the body, welcome to start to slide that heel away. Wherever you are, nice and active through the leg. Toes pull back towards the face. Take an inhale in the pose, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. And exhale to fold. Again, inhale as you create that space. Exhale as you inhabit it. The next inhale, walk the hands back up through center. And exhale, plant the left palm behind the left seat. Inhale, right arm sweeps up and back. Press the hips up away from the mat. Really opening up across the whole front side of the body, fingertips to toes. One more big inhale here. And exhale, nice and slow, lower the seat back down to the mat. As you do, cartwheel the arms down, hands frame the right leg to fold. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, draw the chest forward, shoulders back. And exhale to fold. And flowing with that, inhale, left hand plants behind left hip. Right arm stretches back as you press the hips up and away. Exhale, nice and slow, seat lowers back down, right foot flexes. Frame that right leg to fold. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Last one like that. Inhale brings you up. Left palm plants. Hips press away from the mat. Right arm stretches up and back. Exhale, nice and slow. Seat lowers down. Hands cartwheel down to frame that left leg and fold. Inhale to lift halfway, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Inhale brings you back up through a neutral spine, coming up to your seat. And then again, shifting the hips so you open that left knee out, widening that stance a little bit here. Still flexing that right foot, pulling up on the kneecap. And we'll plant right palm inside the right knee. Inhale, the left arm sweeps up overhead. Again, palm can press in front of you or maybe over towards the direction of that right foot. And as we're here, big inhale, lift up, lengthen both sides of the waist. Exhale, maybe crawling those right fingers a little further towards right heel and maybe starting to cross that top arm over the ear line. Really rolling that left shoulder open, maybe lifting the gaze. And then working into that neck stretch. So press right shoulder down away from the ear. And then start to let the head go. Right ear falls down to right shoulder. Turn the palm to press away from you towards the back of your mat. And then start to lower left hand down towards the mat. Really extending out through those left fingers. Pressing the fingers down towards the mat and pressing that left shoulder away from the ear. Again, imagine I'm here pressing the top of that left shoulder a little further away. Letting the weight of the head go completely. Right ear drops down to the shoulder. And then again, as you're here, keeping those left fingers low, maybe just starting to sweep the hand forward towards left knee and sweep it back behind you. Creating a little bit of a different angle into that stretch. Pausing wherever you feel you could get the most benefit today. And maybe even tilting the head gently back and forward. And again, playing with the stretch. And then keeping those left fingers where they are. Keep extending out through those left fingers. Bring right hand to the right side of the head. Gently press the head up through center. Beautiful. And releasing the pose, we'll cross the ankles, roll over the shins, find your way to tabletop. So making your way down, stacking wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers spreading nice and wide. And we'll take a few rounds of the cat-cow here. So on the inhale, tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, untuck the toes, press the mat away, rounding through the spine, back of the heart lifts. Inhale, toes tuck, belly drops, gaze comes up, teeth gently touch. Exhale, cat pose, rounding the spine, curling the tailbone forward, tucking chin to chest. 3 more rounds with your own breath cycle. Beautiful, guys. Really articulate the spine, each of the vertebrae moving individually. And once you've completed that 3rd round, returning back through a neutral spine. From that neutral spine, next inhale, right heel kicks back behind you. Flex the toes, so toes point down towards the mat, almost feeling as if that right inner thigh is spinning in and up behind you. Rolling that outer right hip down. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, cross the right leg over towards the left side of the mat, plant right toes there, and bring the gaze to look at your right toes, creating this little side body stretch for the right side. And as you're here, notice if that right hip has sort of collapsed down towards the mat. See if you can gently pick that hip up, level it back off with the left. One more inhale here. And one more exhale. Inhale, gaze comes forward, right heel kicks back. And exhale, opening that right leg out to the right. Keep flexing the foot. Beautiful. One more inhale, pick it up 1 more inch. And exhale, right foot lowers down right where it is. Next inhale, left palm sweeps out and up. Gaze follows the thumb. And exhale, threading that left arm underneath you. Left ear and left cheek come down to the mat. Left fingers reach towards your right toes. Keep pressing heavily into the top of the left foot. And right hand can either stay framing the face right where it is. Maybe it reaches forward ahead of you, lengthening out of right waist. Or maybe it comes up overhead, bending at the elbow, working into that half bind. So looking to hook right fingers into the inner left thigh. Let everything that's touching the mat be heavy there. If you took the bind or you extended the arm forward, return the right hand to frame the face. On the next inhale, press into right palm. Left arm sweeps out and up. Find that counter stretch. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. Keep the legs as they are. Just swivel that left foot a little further forward so that we can exhale to sink the hips to the back of the mat. So you should be sitting behind that left heel, half child's pose. Let the head melt down towards the mat, arms extending forward. You can either keep that right foot flat or maybe come up onto the heel, flex the right foot. One more inhale here. And one more exhale. Again, keeping the legs as they are. Inhale brings you back up to this funky tabletop. Swivel the left shin back once again. And we'll inhale, right heel kicks back behind you. So you exhale, bend the elbows. Elbows hug in tight to the sides of the body as you lower chest and chin down to the mat. Point the right toes behind you. Squeeze right glutes. See if toes can point any higher. Exhale, lower that right knee down to meet the left. Inhale to slide through, curve the spine, cobra pose. Exhale to lower. We'll stay here and work in the cobra a few breaths. Inhale once again, peel the chest up, elbows hugging tight towards the sides of the body. And exhale to lower. This time we'll inhale, gaze comes over the right shoulder as you peel the chest up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, gaze over the left shoulder as you peel. Exhale to lower. Press into the palms, sink the hips back to the heels, find child's pose. Next, inhale, find your way back to the hands and knees, tabletop. Finding that alignment, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. On the next inhale, left heel kicks back. Again, flexing the foot, rolling that outer left hip down. Toes point towards the mat, inner thigh is spinning upward. Pulling low belly and ribs in, big inhale here. As you exhale, cross that left leg over to right side of the mat and plant left toes there. Bring the gaze over to look at the left foot, creating a little side body stretch for the left side. And then again, noticing if that left hip has dropped way below the level of the right, see if you can lift it up off the mat. Big inhale into left side body. And big exhale. Next inhale, gaze comes back through center. Left heel kicks back behind you. And exhale, opening that left leg out to the left. Hopefully you have more space than I do, wherever you are. One more inhale, kick the heel up, one more inch. Exhale, lower that left foot down right where it is. Inhale, right palm sweeps out and up, overhead gaze follows the thumb. And exhale, threading right arm underneath you. Right ear and right cheek come down to the mat. Top of the right foot heavily pressing down into the mat. And then the left hand either staying where it is, maybe extending, reaching forward out of left hip. Or maybe it comes up and around the low back, looking to hook to the inner right thigh. Nice, steady, smooth breaths. And then everything that's touching the mat is sinking heavily into you. Releasing any variations you had with that left hand, bring it back to frame the face. On the next inhale, press into left palm, right arm sweeps out and up. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Keeping the legs as they are, just start to swivel that right heel forward to sink the hips down behind your right heel through your half child's pose. Head sinks down towards the mat, arms extending forward. Again, that left foot can stay flat or maybe come up onto the heel, flex the toes. One more inhale. One more exhale. Keeping the legs as they are. Next inhale, find your way back up to that funky table. Exhale here. Next inhale, swivel the left heel back behind you, coming back to that starting point. And exhale to lower down the chest and chin to the mat, elbows hugging towards the ribs. Point the left toes, squeeze left glute. Can you point the toes any higher behind you? Exhale, lower that left knee down to meet the right, tops of the feet press. Inhale, sliding onto the belly, chest peels up, cobra pose. And exhale to lower down. This time we'll walk the hands out wide, so fingertips down off the edges of your mat, so create 90-degree angles at the elbows. On the next inhale, squeeze shoulder blades together to peel the chest up. And exhale to lower, nose down towards the mat. Inhale up, gaze comes over right shoulder. Exhale to lower. Inhale up, gaze over the left. Exhale to lower. Bring the hands in underneath the shoulders. Press into the palms. Press back, child's pose. From that child's pose, we'll plant the palms, tuck the toes, lift the knees, pressing up and back to your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, walk out your dog, take any movements you need to warm up into the pose. Three more breaths of movement. You guys look great. Last two. And one. Keeping the feet where they are at the back of your mat, about hips distance apart. Walk the hands back to meet the feet. Come into a standing forward fold at the back of your mat. Deep bend into the knees, grab for opposite elbows, and let the head hang down heavy. Taking a nice little ragdoll pose, maybe take a little sway back and forth, side to side. Let the neck release, head hangs heavy. If this movement turns into any other movements that better serve you this morning, of course you're welcome to take them. Slowly starting to find some stillness here. Release the grip, let the arms dangle down heavy onto the mat. Head hangs heavy. On the next inhale, keep that generous bend into the knees as you slowly rolling up to stand. Head comes up last, roll the shoulders up, down, and back. Inhale, palms sweep up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Squeeze shoulder blades together as you lift the chest. Inhale, palms press overhead. And exhale, nice long spine, forward folding all the way down. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk the hands forward, find plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale to lower the knees, chest and chin, elbows hug the ribs. Tops of the feet press. Inhale to slide through, chest peels up, cobra pose. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Three breaths here. Movement or stillness, whatever suits your practice this morning. On the next inhale, lift up high onto the toes, bend the knees, gaze comes forward. Exhale, tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, soft bend at the knees. Exhale to fold. Twice more like that. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen, send the chest forward, reach the shoulders back. Exhale to fold. Last one like that. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Keep that soft bend at the knees. Inhale, press down through the feet. Nice long spine. Come all the way up to stand. Palms press overhead. And exhale, hands over the heart. Inhale, palms sweep up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Inhale, palms press overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank pose. Take an inhale here, shift forward. Exhale to lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Tops of the feet pressed. Inhale to slide through, cobra pose. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing. On the next inhale, right leg sweeps up and back. We'll bend the knees, stack the hips. 3 breaths here, either in stillness or movement, maybe drawing big circles with that right knee, maybe circling out the ankle, anything that feels good. If you circle one direction, make sure you circle the other way too. And coming back into stillness, one more inhale here. Exhale, nice and slow, rock forward, draw knee to nose. Step right foot between the hands and lower the left knee nice and slow down to the mat. Untuck the left toes and inhale, fingertips sweep forward and take a peek down. Make sure that right ankle is stacked directly underneath the knee. So feel free to walk the foot forward or back if you need to. Big inhale here, lift the chest. So you exhale, interlace all 10 fingers. Take them just above that right knee. Once again, inhale, lift and lengthen the ribs out of the waist. Exhale, press into the palms. Chest starts to lift. Maybe gaze goes back as you take this little baby backward bend. Keep the shoulders down out of the ears. One more inhale here, lift up through the sternum. And one more exhale. Inhale, back up through center, arms reach overhead. As you exhale, right hand to right hip, or maybe right fingertips to the mat. Left arm stretches up and over the ear. Allow that right hip to keep sinking down towards the mat. Keep pressing into the top of left foot. Next inhale, find your way back up through center, arms reach. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Straighten the right leg, half split. Flex that right foot, coming up onto the heel, rolling up on the kneecap. And staying in the pose, we'll take an inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Next inhale, rebend the right knee. Find your way back forward to that lunge. This time we'll tuck back toes, lift the back knee, low lunge. Sliding the ribs up the thigh, drawing the shoulders down and back away from the ears. 2 breaths here. Option to keep the fingertips lightly on the mat. If you'd like a little more heat, maybe reaching the arms back. Here for 2. And 1. Hands come to frame the foot if they aren't there already. And then we'll cross that right hand over to big toe side of the foot. So both hands to the inside of right foot. From here, we'll spin the back heel down flat. And turn those left toes towards top left-hand corner of the mat for a half yogi squat. So if this bothers the knees, welcome to stay up on the hands as high as you need to out of those hips. If you can sink down into that full squat, welcome to do so. Do your best to keep that right heel grounded. Maybe even coming up onto left heel, flexing the foot, toes pull back towards the face. And then with or without the hands as we're here, walking side to side. Finding these nice side lunges, opening up into the hamstrings, the inner thighs, doing the best you can to keep the hips nice and low as you crawl back and forth. And if you don't need the hands, welcome to keep them through prayer at the center of the chest. Next time you find yourself by that right leg, take the hands down to frame the right foot, come back to that low lunge. Left palm grounds, right palm lifts, find your twist. Always welcome to drop that back knee down if you need to modify. Otherwise, if that leg is straight, really engage the quads, lift the back of the knee. One more inhale, see if you can swivel the rib cage around the spine. Exhale, right hand comes down to frame the foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left plank pose. Option to take it through your vinyasa or press right back to the dog. Nice job, guys. Next inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Again, 3 breaths of freedom here. So any movement you took on the first side, even it out here. Remembering if you circle something one direction, remember to circle it out the other way. Bring balance into the body. And coming back into stillness, one more inhale, stretch up and back. Exhale, nice and slow, rock forward, draw knee to nose. Lightly step left foot between the hips. Right knee settles down, untuck right toes. Inhale, fingertips sweep forward and up. Again, take a peek down, make sure the knee and ankle are in one vertical line stacked on top of one another to protect that knee joint. Big inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, interlace all 10 fingers, take them just above that left knee. Big inhale, lift up through the chest. Exhale, gently press into the palms as you tilt back, gaze lifts, shoulders draw down and back. Actively pressing into the top of that right foot behind you. One more inhale, lift through the chest. One more exhale, holding space. Gently release. Inhale brings you up through center, arm sweep overhead. And exhale to the side bend, so left fingers to left hip or fingertips down to the mat. Right arm stretches up and over the ear. Rolling that right shoulder open. Sinking that right hip down. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Next inhale brings you back up through center, arm sweep overhead. Exhale to the half split, hands come down to frame the foot, and straighten that left leg, pivoting up onto left heel, flexing the toes, plugging that left hip up and back in space. And staying in the pose, we'll take an inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Next, inhale, rebend the left knee, find your way back to that lunge. And tuck the back toes, lift back knee, find low lunge. Again, holding here for 2 breaths, either staying light on those fingertips or challenging yourself to shoot the hands back, extending out through the fingers. Hovering the torso just above that left thigh. One more inhale here. And one more exhale. Release the hands down to the mat if they aren't there already. And we'll take left hand to the inside of that left foot. Pivot the back heel down flat, think warrior 2 in the feet, and pivot left toes towards the top right hand corner of your mat. Then again, finding that half yogi squat. So if this bothers the knees, stay as high up out of the hips and out of the knees as you need to. Use the hands for support. If it's in your practice and your joints are okay with it, welcome to sink down into that deeper squat. And then again, with or without the hands, keep the hips nice and low as you walk side to side in these lunges. If you don't need the hands, you can take them through prayer. If you have the binds, you can take a breath in the bind at each side. The next time you find yourself at that left leg towards the top of your mat, hands come down to frame the left foot, pivot back forward, find that low lunge once again. Right palm plants, left palm lifts. Again, welcome to bend the right knee, drop it down to the mat for a little extra support. Or if you have that right leg extended, really engage the quads, lift the back of right knee. Staying nice and light on that right hand by lifting up tall through the left fingers. One more inhale. And the exhale. Left hand comes down to frame the foot. We'll step back to plank pose. Take an inhale here. So you exhale, either take it through your vinyasa or press right back to the dog. From that downward facing dog, next inhale, right leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, knee to right shoulder, and drop it down for pigeon pose. So that shin comes across the top edge of your mat. Take a peek back. Make sure the left leg is coming straight back from the hip and the toes are pointing straight back behind you. A lot of times the toes like to turn in. Now, as you're here, the further you heel toe that foot towards the top of the mat and the shin approaches parallel with top edge of the mat, the more intense this gets pretty quickly. And then, of course, the further you walk that foot in towards your left hip, the less intense. So find your variation for today. If you're happy in your pigeon pose, big inhale, think cobra spine. And exhale to fold any amount. If that pigeon pose doesn't feel right in your body today, sweep the left leg forward. Take the pose lying down so it takes that force of gravity off of you while still getting the same stretch. So we'll cross right ankle over left knee, flexing that right foot, maybe staying here. Or maybe drawing the legs in towards the chest, right arm threads through the window you've created. Left hand comes around to meet it, either grabbing on top of left shin or behind left thigh to draw the legs in towards the chest. And get the same benefits of the pose no matter which variation you take. Just listening to your body in this moment. If you're in that reclined variation, really letting the back of the neck, the head, the shoulders be heavy on the mat. Sacrum pressing down into the earth. If you're in the pigeon pose, you'll be finding a little more length. So taking an inhale, gently lift the chest, send the sternum forward, and then refolding down into that space you found. Beautiful adjustments. Moving in and out of your last breath wherever you are. If you're in the reclined variation, feel free to stay on the back. Bring the soles of the feet down to the mat, towards the outside edges. Just let the knees knock together. We'll be just making our way right to the other side. So when we get there, you'll join us. If you're in that pigeon pose, plant the palms, find your way back up to the hands. Tuck left toes behind you. Lift the left knee and nice and slow, bring that right leg up and back. Just give it a couple of circles, move around the joint, get the blood flowing again. And as you're ready, release it. From the downward facing dog. Next, inhale, left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, rock forward, knee to left shoulder. And drop it down, pigeon pose. Once again, take a peek back. Make sure the right leg is coming straight back from the hip and the toes aren't pointing in or out. And the further you walk that foot towards the top edge of your mat, the more intense. The further you walk the foot in towards right hip, the less intense. So find your pose for today. Big inhale, think cobra spine, lift the chest. And exhale to fold. My friends, in the reclined variation, this side you'll cross the left ankle over right knee, creating that figure four shape with the legs. Flexing that left foot to protect the knee, and then drawing the legs in if you want a little more. This time, the left arm threads through the window you've created with the legs. Right hand comes around to meet it, interlacing the fingers on top of right shin or behind right thigh. And again, that reclined variation, let everything be heavy on the mat. If you're in that pigeon pose, sinking evenly into both the hips. You may be searching for a little more length as the body starts to adjust. So on an inhale, sending the chest a little further forward, like you want the ribs to hook over the front of that left shin. And then folding down, sinking back into that length you found. Moving in and out of your last breath here. Again, if you're in the recline variation, if you're to stay on the back, maybe just draw the knees into the chest. We'll be meeting you there in a moment. If you're in the traditional pigeon pose, plant the palms, find your way back up to the hands. Tuck those right toes, lift the right knee, and nice and slow, sweep that left leg up and back. Give yourself a couple circles, move around the joint. And release, left foot meets the right. Option for one final vinyasa if you like. Otherwise, we're finding our way down to a seat from here. So we'll drop the knees down, drop the hips to one side, swing the legs out in front of you. And we'll make our way all the way down to the back. So no rush to get there. Find your way in your own time. Once you have found your way down, draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug around the legs. Maybe a little rock side to side. Again, feel the back of the shoulders, back of the neck, and the head heavy on the mat. And then keeping the knees into the chest, release the arms out to a T. Take a big inhale through center. So you exhale, drop the knees over to the left, gaze comes over the right shoulder. Finding this nice gentle supine twist. Of course, if you have other variations, you're welcome to take them. Wherever you are, just keeping both shoulders planted down as best you can. Allow the belly to soften. Unclench the jaw. Everything release into your twist. On the next inhale, slowly make your way back through center. And exhale, legs to the right, gaze to the left. Twisting the other direction. Any variations you took on the first side, finding them here. Letting both shoulders plant down heavily into the mat, even if that means the knees don't touch. And letting everything soften as you find your twist. The next inhale, slowly make your way back through center. Give yourself one last hug around the knees, maybe a happy baby or any other final movements you need for your practice. And over the next couple of breaths, starting to find your way down. Again, no rush to get there. And finding your way down to make yourself completely comfortable, whatever that looks like today. Coming into that final resting pose. Let the arms be far enough away from the body. The shoulders can relax. Legs far enough apart that the hips relax. The feet flop gently out to the sides. Take a gentle rock side to side on the back of the skull. Finding that comfortable place to rest. Take one deep inhale all together through the nose. Fill the lungs. Biggest breath you've taken yet. Exhale out the mouth, sigh it out. Seal off the lips. Breath returns to its easy, natural rhythm, in and out through the nose. Allow the back body to sink heavily down into the mat. The front body melts into back body. And the mind's eye, sending the breath down to the feet. Feel them relax. All the muscles release. The heels sink heavily. Send the breath to the lower legs, the knees, the thighs, the hips. Send the breath to the pelvis, the seat muscles, entire lower body melting down, muscles loose around the bones. Leave it there by itself. In the mind's eye, sending the breath down to the tips of the fingers, the palms, the wrists, feeling them relax. Send the breath to the forearms and elbows, the upper arms and the shoulders, completely relaxed. Muscles loose around the bones. The bones sink heavily down towards the mat. Arms completely relaxed, heavy on the mat. Leave them there by themselves. Send the breath to the base of the spine, the pelvic floor. Traveling up the spine and all the muscles that support it. Breathing into the abdomen, all the organs within. Send the breath to the entire rib cage, the intercostal muscles, the lungs and the heart. Breathing into collarbones, the chest. Entire torso completely relaxed, heavy on the mat. Leave it there by itself. Send the breath to the neck and the throat, the jaw, the tongue, the cheekbones, the sinuses, the entire scalp, and all the muscles of the face loose around the bones. Back of the skull sinks heavily into the mat. Neck and head completely relaxed, heavy on the mat. Leave it there by itself. With the body completely at rest, all that's left is your breath. Follow the breath. When it's time, I will wake you. Slowly begin to deepen the breaths. Gently reawakening the body. Sending that breath out, starting to breathe life into the fingers, the toes, creating little movements there. As the breath grows, allow the movements to grow with it, letting this turn into any stretches that you need to wake yourself back up gently. And bringing the arms up overhead. Give yourself a long, full body, good morning stretch, fingertips to toes. And then keeping that right arm up overhead, draw the knees into the chest, gently roll yourself onto the right side. Drawing the knees in, letting the back body round. Using that right bicep as a pillow. And pausing here a moment. Finding gratitude that you're able to come to your mat, to do your practice, connect with yourself. And with that sense of gratitude, keeping the eyes closed, gently use the hands to press up to a comfortable seat. Once you found your way there, join the palms together over the heart. Take a moment to revisit the intention. Acknowledge it. Take an inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to bow the head. As always, thank you so much for joining me on your mats this morning. It's an honor and a pleasure to continue to guide you through this practice. Thank you for being receptive, for your time and your energy. The light in me bows to and honors the light in each of you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.